Okay, so in this clip, in this portion, I want to talk to y'all about patterns. What I like to do as far as my patterns, I'm not going to name a specific brand because there is so many pattern companies out there. You may be familiar with this pattern and I'm familiar with this pattern. Okay, let me remove my glasses. So, gotta focus. Okay, you may be familiar with a certain pattern and I'm familiar with a different pattern. Okay, so, what I need to talk about is, some patterns are easier than others. I will say that. I tend to use 3 different patterns, and sometimes I'll come across a section in a pattern that is a little bit harder and I have to ask questions and get help with, and then I can go and get another pattern and they explain things a little better. Okay, so when you're picking your pattern, excuse me, y'all. I have this like drainage and it is about to drive me absolutely nuts. Anyway, you'll hear some people, mention certain patterns and stuff like that, certain ones that they like, that's all good. Just if you come across a section in a pattern that you're just like, what in the world are they talking about? What are they trying to tell me to do? And you don't understand, then just, ask questions. There's a lot of social media groups that you can pop on and say, hey, I've got this pattern. Can you help me with this? Some things I'm like, Mama. So, yeah, I have to call my mama a lot and I'll say, what are they talking about? We actually came across a pattern one time that I was trying to sew for my granddaughter. And y'all, even as many years that she has been sewing, she could not figure out what they were trying to say. And she's like, I honestly have no clue. And she's like, I don't understand how this is piece of, even a seasoned sewer could not understand that. So we just had to put it down and just say, you know what, maybe we'll come back to it later. Well, I put it down so long, it's been like 3 years now. I've put that pattern down so long. And I come across it the other day and I'm like, do I really want to try to finish it? And I thought about trying to finish it just for the sake of saying, you're not going to get the best of me, but I haven't yet. So what I want to talk about is like, I'm not going to walk you through like a whole step, showing you all the directions in a pattern. I'm just going to give you the basics of a pattern. What I like to do is get patterns that have multiple sizes. First thing would be my price. Okay. I am so sorry, y'all. First thing would be my price. Hobby Lobby and some other places used to do like, gosh, they would run their patterns on sale for 99 cents. Occasionally throughout the year they would do this. Well, now they've got to where they're barely doing it anymore. If you can catch that sale, write down patterns that you're like, oh, I think I'll make that. I think I want that pattern. Honey, write those things down. As soon as they run that sale, 99 cents for their patterns, go stock up. I've got like 20 patterns wrote down that I'm just like jumping on that as soon as they do it again. But here lately, the past couple of years, they've stopped doing it. And I don't understand. So I'm like, I just try to save up. Now, if it's something that I really want to make right then, I will spend a little extra money and I'll go get it. And then Hobby Lobby will sometimes have a pattern sale, 30 to 40% off. And I think sometimes they kind of have a lower price sometimes than what you can get them for if you order them from that company online. Okay. So price, I look for price, okay? But included in that price, I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth, basically, and see how many outfits or how many items I can get off of that one pattern. I want to say, for example, this pattern right here. I am going to show a picture, and I like using simplicity patterns. I don't have many McCall's patterns. This video is not sponsored, by the way. It's not sponsored. And new look patterns, easy to sew, things like that. But if I'm going to get a pattern that's going to be like 13 to 17 to 18 bucks, I want to see what all I can get out of it. So I was piecing together some outfits for my granddaughters. And I'm like, it was summertime. And I was like, okay. I was like, I want shorts. And then we're going to be going into fall time. I want capris. And then wintertime, pants. And then I was like, right now they need some pajama bottoms. So I saw like outfits that had, let me go get one. I saw patterns that had like shorts on it that came with the shorts. I'll give you an example. Let me dig through here. I should have had it out. This one right here. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see it. Let me find a place to lay it down. This is what I'm talking about. Finding the most for your money, for the pattern. Right here. I've got shirts. One with a sleeve, one without. And then there's the longer versions of them where you can make the dresses. Then look here. Here's the shorts. Here's the capris. If you know how to lengthen a pattern piece, I can extend this out, bring this out a few inches longer, and have the pants. Or I can do like the Matilda Jane outfits and have the ruffle there at the bottom. So, and then here's the shorts. Okay, so I'm getting my money's worth out of this because I'm getting shirts, dresses, shorts, capris, pants. Okay, now let me get you over here. Y'all pardon my mess. I've got everything out here that I'm fixing to get ready to do. This one has a couple of dresses, but then it has the shirt right there. This one has shorts. But y'all, where's my other pattern? It's under here somewhere. Hold on. Here's another one. Okay. I'm like piecing patterns together. Okay. This is a pajama. But guess what, y'all? Look at all I have. I have, and this is where education comes in at, knowing how to lengthen or shorten or put together pieces of different patterns. I'm fixing to make another. I've got some shorts over there. Y'all, my sewing area in this cottage is like, right now, it's messy. I got some shorts right up there that I made using that other pattern right over there. And I'm going to take this little shirt here and make a shirt to go with those shorts. But you can also make pajamas out of these. These are pajama bottoms. But look, y'all, you can turn these into pants with the little ruffle bottom. Here is some shorts. Okay? Then you get into your robes and your gowns, but that's okay. But y'all, you see what I'm saying by shopping wisely? and piecing different views of patterns together to make different things. And let's say like there's a pattern that you're like, man, this don't have a lot on it. This has only got like, a shirt and a pair of shorts. Y'all, you can take that pajama pattern, and you've got your shorts. You got your capris, shorten them. You got your bottoms, your pants. A lot of times, it's not the pattern pieces. Our visiting peacock out here. If you've noticed, this whole video is clips from different times and different places, because I was in the middle of sewing my granddaughter's a bunch of outfits, and I'm like, you know what? There's people out there that want to learn how to sew. I can do some clips here and there of some things that I'm doing at that moment and piece them together. So that's how this whole video came about, okay? So you're going to see me in different areas, different clips, different places, okay? So anyway, getting back to our pattern. I was in the middle of sewing my granddaughter's all these things, and I'm like, this pattern don't have a lot on it. And then I was like, you know what? I've got a pajama pattern that I could have had. I bought that other pattern, the one over there that's got the little dresses at the top. Tops at the top, dresses, and then the short, and then the capris, and then I told you could lengthen them. I had that one first, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have used a pajama bottom pattern. And I would have had my shorts, my capris. You can do shorts like pajamas. Then you can make them come down to the knees. Then you can go capris. Then you can go pants. From one pattern piece, y'all. Am I making any sense? Because my mind is like racing this morning. And I'm trying to spit it all out as soon as it comes into my brain. And I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. But the moral of the story, the tip. Let me get to the tip, okay? Find a pattern that you can get the most uses out of. And you may have another pattern that you can take a piece out of that one and put an outfit together, okay? So don't think you've got to go, when you get ready to put an outfit together to sew, don't think that you've got to go and go get a whole new pattern. Go through your pattern stash. You've done paid for it one time. Go through your pattern stash and see if you've got an outfit you can throw together and save money. If you just absolutely do not, and you are like, I'm missing an item that I'd like to put together with this outfit, okay? Go find a pattern that has that piece in it that you're looking for, but a whole bunch more that you can use for something else for later, okay? I had all kinds of baby, infant to toddler patterns. And oh my gosh, y'all, I played around with those things. I put outfits together like you wouldn't believe. The little painty diaper covers, the little summer dresses, some nice little, I went ballistic one day and just made a whole bunch of diaper covers. And then put like some little lace on the little tushy of them, little ruffles. Before I got to start using my embroidery machine, I had some little onesies embroidered. And I could take those patterns and piece different things together. And you can do it on women's outfits, children's outfits. But I saw this one and I'm like, I made the shorts and stuff, and I'm like, I really want a different tunic, a different shirt to go with these shorts that I got. And I'm like, I want something different. So then I did have to go get another pattern. And I I'll show you some of the outfits that I put together using these when I get them all done. So I did have to go get another pattern, because I like this shirt with these shorts. I can still use this one, but at the moment I want this one. So now I can mix and match, because I have two patterns that I can mix and match and put together. I've got dresses on that one I can put together. And then on this one, I've got some different styles of dresses that I maybe can make some wintertime dresses. So y'all, the point is, get the most out of your pattern. Get the most views and articles of clothing. That's the word I'm looking for. Articles of clothing on that one pattern. So you may not have to go back and find something else. But if you do get a different idea and you go looking for another pattern, get another pattern with a bunch of things on it. Articles of clothing on it. So that way you got a bunch to play with, okay? In other words, don't go for the patterns that's just got one or two articles of clothing on it, okay? Get the most for your money. The next thing is multiple sizes, especially in children's, babies, all the way through children's, teenage. Some of the patterns are going to be separated. Now patterns are coming with more multiple sizes on them. Like Simplicity, they will do like infant up to 2T. The next set of sizes is 3 to 8. The next set of sizes is 8 to 14, I think, because I'm not there yet. So, because I got a granddaughter that's in 7. So, they're right in those two pattern ranges that I can get one pattern and both sizes are on there. 3 to 8, okay? One's in a 4, one's in a 7, okay? So, I can still use it a little more for size 8 when she gets there. But then when she gets out of 8, then I'm going to have to go to the next group of sizes. So, multiple size patterns, okay? And what I do, I'll show you. Multiple size. I really need to set my table up, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an example right here. Let me open up this pattern. Let's just take this for example. I'm going to try to show this in my lap, y'all. I don't have my table set up this morning. Okay, let me turn this around. Not my knees. Okay, right here, I've got like a pattern piece, 3. This is going to be a ruffle on a pattern. Now, if you'll look out here, here is the different sizes, okay? There's my 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take, as I showed you earlier, I'm going to take my tracing wheel, my tracing paper, and my roll of white paper that I use to trace off patterns. I think I showed you that. And I'm going to cut out this pattern piece first on the very largest size line. Do not cut this pattern piece on the size that you need and cut off all those extra sizes. You're going to lose all your sizes. You're going to lose the purpose for getting a multiple size pattern. So, cut out the whole piece to the largest size that's on that pattern piece. Then, take that pattern piece, lay it on your white paper or brown paper, whatever you've bought. Y'all, you can use the back side of Christmas wrapping paper. Something that's big, y'all. Recycle some paper. Trace off the size that you need at that time. So I'm going to trace off 2 sizes. I'm going to trace off the 4 and I'm going to trace off the 7 and have 2 different size patterns, okay? And then I'm going to transfer all of my markings to that. All of my markings will be like the little, get you back here, the little triangles where you're going to need to know where to match this to another piece and sew them together. I'm going to write all this information on my pattern that I'm going to make. Let's see. Let's find another one. Oh, like for darts, I'm going to trace all these off onto my new pattern. So this is how you get the most for your money, getting multiple sizes, cutting the pieces out, and then tracing off the sizes that you need and transferring all your markings. Then you'll have those. Now, when they grow to the next size, get your pattern piece back out, trace the size off that you need the next time. Okay? So, let's see what else I can cover at this moment, because I'm doing this now. I'm fixing to set up my big old other spare table over here. Fixing to cut out these pieces, trace my new ones off. While I've got this pattern out, let me maybe kind of show you some things on the pattern. Y'all, when it comes to, I told y'all, when it comes to the mathematic part of a pattern, y'all, give me addition, subtraction, multiplication, division all day long. But don't. Y'all, pay attention in math class. Pay attention in geometry class. You're never going to use algebra unless you become an engineer or something like that. I've never used algebra since I've been out of high school, y'all. But you will use geometry if you want to sew. I should have paid attention in geometry class because radius, diameter, circumference. If you're making a circle skirt, if you're making a hat or a baby bonnet, yeah, you're going to need those. Okay, teachers, when you're teaching math and you get to fractions, please teach them how to read a tape measure and a ruler. Okay? I should have paid attention when they covered that in math class, because you're going to need it in sewing. 5/8 of an inch seam, 3/8 of an inch seam, a 1/2 inch seam, an inch hem. Y'all pay attention in math class, because I did. I was either asleep or I was zoned out, okay? I should have paid attention, because now I'm like, what's 5/8? What little mark on this thing here is 5/8? Yeah, I should have paid attention. Okay, so let's see. On your pattern, this is for beginners, okay? I know some of y'all are probably seasoned, and this is for beginners, okay? So, let me turn you around here. On your pattern, you're going to have, like, all of your views, okay? Then you're going to... There went my glasses in the floor. Then you're going to have what all your pieces are going to look like. They're going to be numbered. They're going to tell you what they are. They're going to give you general directions of what all these marks means on your pattern, how to lengthen and shorten. There you go, how to lengthen and shorten. Some sewing and clipping tips, okay? Turning tips, cutting and marking, transferring all your markings, okay, onto your material. How to lay out your material. Here's your cutting layout guides. Right side, wrong side. Your pattern piece will tell you how many pieces to cut out. And then, see, it's got everything on here that you're going to need. My suggestion to you, let's see. Here you get into your sewing directions, okay? What is something else? Let me turn this over. That's in Spanish. Can't read it. No offense, y'all. I do not know Spanish. I did not take that in high school. It's got multiple languages on here. It gives you your sewing directions. Okay, so let's get to the envelope. I'm just going to borrow this one. Okay. This is where I also have trouble too, y'all, is I need to learn more about how to read the back of the pattern, okay? The finished measurements, y'all, I get so confused. Like, my thing, I keep it simple. I just know, like, okay, my granddaughter, see, I'm still learning, y'all. Like, my granddaughters are wearing this size. So I take a chance and I'm like, okay, they're wearing this size in clothes. So we're going to make it using this size. And let's just see how it turns out. That's where I need like my little models there, to try on as I go, as I sew the garment. Now, if they're not with me, I think I showed y'all earlier about if they're not with me, I got like little cheat sheets, and I think I showed those to y'all. And I just kind of like, oh yeah, I do. So I need to get better at learning how to read the back of the patterns. So it'll tell you what fabrics to use, suggestions of fabric. Your notions that you're going to need, thread, anything else, elastic. Then you've got your body measurements, okay, that's supposed to go with this size. But, it depends on your child. It depends on who you're sewing it for. Each view is going to tell you for this size how much fabric you're going to need to get and any notions that goes with it. That's in a different language. Let me stay over here on this side. Yeah, so the back side of your pattern. My suggestion would be, before you even start a project, and I still have to call my mother and say, I'll screenshot it if she's not with me, and I'll say, can you please tell me what I need here? So, my mama's my 911, y'all. I better pick my glasses up out of the floor before I stomp on them and break them. My mama is my 911, my sewing 911. I'm like, Mama, please tell me what they're trying to tell me. Okay. And then there's all kind of YouTube tutorials, y'all. If you need help with something, there's Facebook groups, there's social media. Jump on there and say, okay, I'm having this problem. But I have been sewing all these years, y'all, and I just kind of like wing it. So, as a beginner sewer, I'm not going to tell you to wing it. That's just what I do. And then I try to figure things out on my own, okay? Get with a more seasonal person that can help you understand how to read the backside of a pattern. Get your body measurements first, and it'll tell, if you get your body measurements first, y'all, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, because I don't do this, y'all. I go by, I don't think I've ever measured myself. If I'm sewing myself a dress, I don't think I've ever measured myself and then go by the body measurements for the back of the pattern. I go by like what I'm wearing from a purchased garment. And then as I'm sewing it, I just try it on as I go and say, no, I think I can take off just a little bit more. But if you take off any, just be careful. Only take a little off at a time. Don't take off a whole bunch at one time, because you can't put that back on, okay? Just a little note there. You can't put it back on, okay? Take a little off at a time. So I try on as I go. And I'm so unevenly proportioned. Sometimes I can't go by these little measurements on the back. That's where I go by, let's try this on as I go, and I can make corrections as I go. But if you want to do it the other way, and you want to take your body measurements to know what size to start off with, to give you some kind of idea, get your body measurements by all means, okay? I've never done that. I just go by size from a purchased garment. And luckily, it turns out good. So far, I haven't really had any problems, okay? But one day I'm going to come across that problem and say, how do I fix this? Okay, so, Mama, okay? Or somebody, okay? Before you start a project, I told you first, know your machine. Know how your machine sews. I explained all that, okay? Next thing would be, when you get your pattern, sit down, read through your pattern. Read through all the instructions to make sure that you're going to understand it. Read through everything first before you just haul in there and go all gung-ho and start cutting out fabric, and you're like, whew, this is more than I bargained for. You know, I've done that before, and I just, like I said, we had to stop a project. We should have just read all through it first. That was a hard pattern. Read through everything first, okay? They have suggested fabrics on there for a reason. I do want to point that out. Like that pajama pattern, okay? Yes, it's for pajamas. But switch fabrics and you can still, like those pajama bottoms, the shorts, the pants. All I got to do is switch fabrics. Fabrics makes a big difference, y'all. For a pair of pants, like I can use that pattern piece, the pants piece on that pajama pattern, and still make a pair of pants, but change fabrics. Okay? Just change my fabrics. Go with a heavier kind of fabric. And Matt can go with a little denim, a little something a little thicker, a thicker cotton, or a thicker, y'all, that's another thing I don't know is my fabrics. I don't know what twill is. I don't know what, okay, I don't know my fabrics. I need to play around with that. I need to learn more, okay? And that's why I keep going. I tend to stick mostly to cottons. Yes, I do. I tend to stick mostly to cottons. But I need to teach myself to venture out, work with knits, polyesters. What's another one? See, I don't know, y'all. Flannels, fleece. I need to branch out and I need to learn. And certain fabrics are going to require different needles, different thread, okay, because of how they sew. And a different stitch. I haven't sewed on a lot of knits. Spandex. I don't know how to sew on spandex, okay? So, see, there's a lot I need to learn. So, if you're not you've got to educate yourself before you just start a big project, okay? Read your pattern, read what you're up against, and familiarize yourself before you start a big project, okay? I think that's all I can cover at this moment in this clip, because this is where I'm at on piecing these outfits together. I tell you what, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you what I'm fixing to do and some things that I've already done. Let me turn this around. Okay, I'm going to show y'all some little things here. I took this pattern here before I bought the pajama pattern that's over there. I had this one, and I took this right here, and I did make my girls some little pajama bottoms. These are a little shorter, some little pajama bottoms. I made them, I don't know how many outfits, pajama bottoms. Then what I did was I lengthened them just a little bit, because I got one fixing to start kindergarten and they want them to touch their knees. So I kind of lengthened it, just added a couple of little inches to make sure it came to her knees. And I made some little shorts. Okay, so I got one for her, matching shorts. I made these, and I'm going to dress these up a little bit. I put some ribbon at the bottom and some decorative stitching. Okay, and let's see. I made some more over here. Y'all excuse my mess. Let's see. I made these. I didn't have enough material to make matching of this. I just took a bunch of scrap material and said, let's see what I can do with it. So I made these shorts. Let me get the whole view. And I put some lace trim at the bottom. Now, y'all, I know some of y'all are saying, that's supposed to go on the underneath side. There's two ways you can sew trim. You can either put this all on the outside, or you can put it, well, I didn't sew it that way, but you can put it, I don't know how to show it. Well, anyway, you can put it where this is going to be on the outside of on top of the trim. Okay, in other words, you're going to have some of the short hanging over the trim. And this should have been sewed on the inside. But I didn't like it like that. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this look right here. Because I know some ladies are going to say, that's supposed to go on the inside. I like to do it both ways. I like to do it 2 different ways. Here's a little pair. I got some little rickrack at the bottom. Okay. I think I'm going to put like a little, no, the shirt is going to have some embellishment on this one. On these right here, I did the same thing. I didn't have enough to make both of the same. So I made these, and I put some trim at the bottom of these, and then I put some different trim on the youngest, on the littlest one. Okay? So you can put the trim underneath here on the inside. Okay? Or I like it some on the outside hanging out a little bit. I just kind of like that look. Okay? So what I'm going to do on these is just get some t-shirts and put some embellishments on them and some appliques, or I may do some embroidery. Let's see. These right here. Oh, I'm going to show y'all. This is what I'm talking about. No, let's not show it on this one. Let's show it on this one. This is what I'm talking about. Let me show you right here. Okay, this is the bottom. No, this is the bottom because that's where my casing's fixing to go up there, and I ran out of elastic. I got to go get some more. This is what I'm talking about, the lace. Okay, I like it this way too. Let me turn it around. I like it this way too. Or the lace can go up under here on the inside to where you've, well, I just pulled it out. To where you've got the little ruffle. Okay, let's just do it like this. Let's cover this up. I'm not going to put the whole thing in there. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. It's really supposed to hang out from underneath like that. But I like it both ways, y'all. You can do it on top or you can do it on bottom. Okay? Y'all pick the one that you want to do. It's your outfit. Embellish it how you want to. Okay? So, let's see. This one is going to go on the outside because this is like a bias kind of. And it is going to kind of go up against. You open that up, and your hem is going to go inside there. So this one is going to go on the outside, okay? Let's see, y'all, my mess down here. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got trim. I've got, oh, yes, I've got all this stuff. I was going to show something else, and I forgot what I was going to show. Oh, well, those shorts. Okay, so study your pattern first, okay? Before you just jump into a project. Study your pattern. Study the steps, okay, before you just start cutting out. There are, I do want to say this. There are cutting layout suggestions in there on your diagram. But I have learned sometimes I can lay my pieces a different way. And I don't have to lay them exactly like they're on this to where I can get the most usage of my material. Does that make any sense? They'll show you to lay your pattern pieces a certain way. But I've just learned how I can lay them and I have extra fabric left over. Okay? That is something I taught myself. I'm like, why are they laying it this way? But now you will have to pay attention to your pattern pieces because there are some pieces that will only go one way because you've got to go with the grain of the fabric. I don't know how to explain that to y'all either. I got it up here, but I don't know how to get it out here. Some pattern pieces, it's going to have to lay going with the grain. Some pattern pieces, you're going to do this away and it's going to be cut on the fold. Okay? There's some ways that you can fold your fabric differently than the pattern calls for. That's where you get into more a person that's more seasoned in sewing. But starting out as a beginner, I would follow the directions on the pattern until you can learn different ways to do it. And y'all, if you don't know something, do like I do. Google it, or Mama, or YouTube. I've learned a lot from YouTube. Y'all, it took me forever to learn how to gather properly. And I've had my serger over there for 26 years. I got it before my oldest son was born. I've had that thing for 26 years, and I just learned last year, no, back in the spring, how to gather on my serger. Are you kidding me? I should have known how to do that when I got my serger. When you get your, I stated, when we went through all of our sewing machines and stuff, I stated learning your machine and practicing before you start on a big project. Okay, so that's something I should have done a long time ago, y'all. But the gist of the pattern piece, your patterns, get the most for your money, which is more articles of clothing in one. If it's something that you need shorts, but yet you got like shorts and pants, well, really, you've got 4 options in there. You got shorts, capris, or a longer short, and then pants. Learn how to lengthen and shorten patterns, okay? I haven't done that, but I can follow the steps. I can figure it out, okay? I've never had to cut a section of a pattern piece off and extend it out. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to add a couple of more inches to the bottom of here, okay? So that's just what I do. But I make sure I follow the pattern piece down, If it's at an angle, then, go at that angle, but still just extend it a little or shorten it a little. And then on your pattern pieces, you're going to have lines on there that says, for shorts, cut it this line. For pants, cut it this line. Okay, so, yeah. Let's see, get the most for your money. Multiple sizes. Multiple articles of clothing. If you just see that you need another idea and you have to go get another pattern, do the same thing again. Multiple sizes, more articles of clothing on it. Then that way you could put together a whole wardrobe just with 2 patterns. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And the pattern pieces, y'all, are reusable until they start falling apart. Trace them off again. I've got some that's got so many pinholes in it because I've used it so much. It's time to trace them off again. Okay? And make another pattern. Study your pattern. Know how to read the back of the pattern. I got to work on that. I'm still learning. Basically your pattern is going to tell you everything you need to know. Some of it. And it's how they word it that whether or not you can understand it. But for the basics, they're going to tell you everything that you need. Look over it. Go over it. And the envelope of your pattern is where it's going to tell you material suggestions, your sizes, finished garment, the measurements of the finished garment, all your notions you're going to need. So just please look over everything before you start just going gung-ho, cutting out all your pieces, okay? Get familiar with it. And a lot of people like to do practice on muslin. I guess that's what it is. Scrap material, practicing it first before they start the big project on the fabric that they're actually going to be wearing. I've never done that. I've just always took a chance and wung it. I'm not going to tell you to wing it, okay? I'm not going to tell you to do that. Call somebody if you don't understand it. Train yourself, teach yourself, okay? So I think that's all I can cover at this moment while I'm at this stage. When I get to the next stage, I might take you through some things. I don't see anything else I can cover right now. So I am fixing to get busy cutting this one out. I've got 2 sizes. I'm cutting all the pieces out. And then I've got 2 sizes patterns I've got to cut out. So I will see you in the next clip. There's no telling where I'll be. I may still be here and I may be at home. I'll see you in the next clip. Thanks, y'all. All right, y'all. I brought you right back right quick because I want to show you what I've done. Oh, y'all. There was so many pieces on that thing. I'm stretching my arms way out here trying to hold that tissue paper to find all my pieces. But I wrestled it and I got it. So let me show you what I was talking about. Cutting your pieces out. I only needed 4 little pieces to put this little shirt together, but that's okay. I cut the pieces out, and I've kept all the sizes. Now I'm fixing to, and I got this one, and then this one, and then this one. Now what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to cut off on the outside. I like to do this because this will save me time when I get to the size 8. Okay, this will save me time later on down the road. I'm going to go ahead and cut out on the largest size. Cut all this extra off. Then I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to lay them down on this white paper, and I'm going to trace them off, and I'm going to use, where is it? I got to get it out. I'm going to use my tracing paper and my tracing wheel, and I'm going to start tracing it off. And then if I can do it, because it's hard to do this with one hand, but I got my tracing paper out, and here's my little wheel. I don't like to use the wheel that has the little spikes on it, because that kind of pokes holes in your pattern piece and in this. And I kind of don't want to do that. I like using this little disc on here. Okay, so I'm going to trace all these off with my tracing paper, these 4 pieces, onto this right here. Transfer all my markings, and then I'll let you see what that looks like. I'll bring you back in just a little bit and let you see what that looks like. Whew, y'all, we got that done. Okay. Ooh, that was like, that is kind of tiring, okay? You may not get this outfit made all in one day. Let me tell you, you probably won't. Unless you're a fast sewer and you know how to do it quicker than I do. But I got all, as you saw, I traced them all off. The 2 sizes that I needed, I traced them off. I got all those pieces cut out. So I've got now size 4 pieces that I needed. Size 7, the 4 pieces that I needed. I transferred all my markings onto my white paper, so I've got everything good to go. So that's the gist of like the pattern, things like that, how to read it, how to follow it. Now the next step I've got to do is lay those pieces out on my material and then cut my material out. Okay, I'm probably not going to show that because that's going to take me a little while. And some people like to wash their fabric first for shrinkage reasons. Okay, if it's like a cotton or something like that that's going to shrink, some people like to wash all their fabric first and then iron it and then cut out the fabric. So that way, when you get ready to wash it, again, it's not going to shrink again. You see what I'm saying? So for shrinkage purposes. But I don't hardly ever have any problems. So I like that starchy effect when I start a project. So I don't hardly ever wash my material before I start. So that's just my preference. I know everybody's like, oh, okay, that's just my preference. Okay, I like the starchy crisp and starting with a fresh starchy fabric. That's just my preference. If you want to, wash your fabric first, and if it's going to shrink, it's going to shrink, okay, and then start sewing it. I'm just backwards sometimes. I like doing it that way. That's my preference. So what's next? Whew, excuse me, y'all. What's next is cutting out my fabric pieces, and then I'll start putting the project together. I'm probably not going to take you through a whole sew with me tutorial, sew along with me tutorial, because I make mistakes and I have several seam rippers. So if I do make a mistake and I have to just like take something out and start all over, I don't want to take y'all all through that, okay? So my next step is following my diagram on here of how to lay these pieces out on the material to save fabric. Your pattern will also tell you, your instructions will also tell you to fold your fabric maybe with right sides together, wrong sides together, or double fold, or a single layer. Pay attention to those directions. Some pattern pieces, for what purpose, I don't know. Somebody explained to me. I've never understood why on some pattern pieces, on the instructions, it will tell you turn for that pattern piece to be upside down. Somebody explain that to me. I don't know. I don't know. See, I'm still learning. Somebody explain that to me. On some instructions, one pattern piece will be face up and you cut it out. And then another pattern piece, it may tell you to turn it over, face side down. I don't understand that. So somebody explain that to me. Sometimes why those instructions tell you that, okay? I haven't really understood that. And then right sides together, wrong sides together, your selvages together up here at the top. Follow your pattern's instructions if you're a beginner. When you get more seasoned and you understand how things work, you can figure out shortcuts. I have figured out a few shortcuts over the years. Some things I still don't understand. Some things I still don't understand. All right, now my sister. I've got a sister that sews too. So if I can't get a hold of one, I call the other one. If I can't get a hold of either one of them right at that moment, y'all should always answer your phone when I call or text. So, I'll get on YouTube, y'all. YouTube. Like, how do I do this? Okay, and I'll watch a quick tutorial and wow, that's how I have found out some shortcuts, y'all. It's just by, like, somebody else has already done the figuring it out for me. I am a visual learner, y'all. That's why a lot of my videos are, I'm taking you through the process, because a lot of people like that follow along with me concept. I like that. I like somebody figuring it out. I'm not a good figure outer. Does that make sense? I'm not a good figure outer. If it takes me too long to figure out something, I'm done. I am done with it, okay? I like for somebody else to figure it out and then show me, okay? I'm a visual learner. That's just how I am. I can get all the books in the world to tell me how to do something, and I'm like, this is mumbo jumbo to me. This is just how my brain works. I like YouTube. I like to see somebody else do it. That's why a lot of my videos are, come along with me. I'll show you how I do it. You know, I'm not just going to talk you through it. So, you know, yeah. And some of my videos can be long that way, because they're like, it took you so long to do that. Okay, so yeah, just follow along if you want to, or you can just skip ahead just a little bit. So anyway, I'm chasing rabbits, y'all. Anyway, this ain't gonna be a sew along with me tutorial. I'll show you probably when it's all put together and it's right. Because I do not want to mess this up on camera and then be like, you know, I don't want y'all to see all my frustrated moments, okay? Anyway, that's what's next. And then when I get this put together and I get it all figured out, I will let y'all see what it looks like. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this. If I think of something else, I'll add it to it. But little by little, as I come across some sewing tips, I'll fling them in here and I'll put this video together. Okay. So thank y'all, and I hope y'all just ask somebody questions. There's places that also offer sewing classes. I don't know if some Hobby Lobbies do it, but if y'all are in a place where you have a fabric store and they offer sewing classes, your county extension office, maybe some churches, I'm just grasping at straws here, libraries, adult education systems, see if they offer some sewing classes in your areas, and y'all take some sewing classes, and learn how to make some clothes for yourself. I do it not because I don't have the money to go buy clothes. I sew just because I enjoy it. There's just something about it. It makes me happy. I just like sewing, and I'm like, I can look at something and say, hey, I did that. You know, I guess it's just a feeling of accomplishment and pride. I did that. Okay. So as I come across some projects and as I come across some tips, I will piece this together and we'll have a whole sewing for beginners. Okay. And then just give you some tips on you getting started. If I feel like later on that if I come across an easy project that I feel like I don't make a lot of mistakes on, that you can follow along with me and it's quick and it's simple, I might do a follow along with me tutorial, but not something that is like long and drawn out like this one. I might do a video on sewing a little pair of shorts just to get somebody started. If you've got children and you just want to make some little play shorts, you know, something like that, I might can whoop up one of them right quick, because putting the pants together is so simple. Some videos that I think that might help you, I will link them in here. Gosh, y'all, there's all kinds of sewing tutorials. Do your research, learn. And it's just a feeling of accomplishment for me. But I will let y'all see what this looks like when I get done with them, and then I'll let you see the whole outfit. And probably when I get done with all these outfits, I will give you a tutorial and let you see what it looks like. I'll add it to this. So that is it for this segment of the video on patterns and tracing and cutting out, following instructions, how to shop for the best pattern to get your most money out of it. So I will see y'all in the next tip that I have.